Connecting the dots, connecting his guests to the world, creating more connections. Welcome to The Connection. Meet your host, author, coach, Air Force veteran, Jay Morales.
So joining us in our conversation today is Amy Nikai. She's a certified arborist, owner-operator, and very proud to be one of the first female ground-level owned and operated tree companies in Nebraska.
Ground-level female owner, yes.
I love it. And Nebraska Arborist Association Board of Directors, you were just appointed in 2025. Influential leadership. You're not only in your craft, you're spending time advocating for your craft as well. So, and you're an ultra endurance athlete. Pretty incredible. But this show's about the connection. And so Amy and I have been going back and forth years, right? Cross paths. We know the same people. But what stopped me in my tracks was our love for veterans. So Amy, we contacted each other. You said, hey, I've got an idea. Tell everybody what your idea was and what really caught our attention together.
Yes. So because we love 50 Mile March, starting on October 21st, my company, we are going to donate a portion of our proceeds for 22 days as a part of the 22 a day movement. We're going to donate a portion of our proceeds for those 22 days leading up to Veterans Day. And then all of Veterans Day, we are going to donate all of our proceeds towards 50 Mile March. We're getting shirts made. We're going all out to help support and fundraise for this incredible organization.
And that's what connected us. So now I'm going to back us up with the 30,000 foot view, because I'm going to show the shirt. I'm going to show the why, and below in the show notes, you'll have how to order, how to get in contact with Amy. But Amy, I want to talk to you about why and how you chose your profession of being a certified arborist.
So, kind of a funny story. So since I'm an ultra marathon runner, I'm always in the forest running. The trees are always changing. I absolutely love it. It's different than road racing. So if you haven't tried it, get out there and do it. Highly recommend it. It's slower and you get to eat more food. What's not to love? So the trees are always changing. And I just really did find a passion I started as an office manager, then in an organization, then got my arborist license because I really did love the human connection as far as people. I'm a big people person, but also loved connecting with the trees, and just trees are ever changing and how we can help the trees in the community long-term, 5, 10, 15 years from now. So then I became GM at a company, and then really was like, what our passion is serving the community. And so we did come up with, hey, you know what I really want to hone in on? I was doing a lot of grant proposals to write for planting trees in the community. And
all over.
Well, actually, we did one for Omaha. We've done several for Gretna. And so that is definitely, if we're not giving back to the community, there's really a big problem. And so we did, I was like, I'm just going to do this. We're going to start a new company rooted in the community for the community. We actually came up with the motto portion of it first, and then came up with a company name. But we really did want to be rooted in the community for the community and doing community events. So the certified arborist, it kind of tied hand in hand with ultra running to start out. But then it really did come with, oh my gosh, this is truly a big passion. It is so much fun. And just, there's a term in Japanese culture called forest bathing, where trees really do heal you. And there's just so much benefit to it. I have found that niche and I just absolutely love it.
You know, I'll share this, and I'm sure you've heard many stories. So a friend of mine in Columbus, he used to go home, and every day before he went into his house, there was a tree on the way on his walk path, and he just touched it. I don't know if he was praying or meditating or what he was doing, right? But he was like intentionally touching the tree. You want to know something sad? Eventually, the tree over the years died, right? We're talking over 10 years. And he said, God, I couldn't figure that out. I put my hand on the tree, and someone explained to him that his negative energy from his body that he accumulated all day, the tree took it out of him and grounded it back to the earth.
I just got
No, I
goosebumps.
swear to you, and he cried when he told
It
me.
is literally a thing. It is absolutely a thing. There is scientific proof that people with cancer and they will send them out into the forest to help absorb the energy because the photons, all of it actually does change your energy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Scientifically. Yeah.
truly believe in grounding, right? Let's
Yeah.
just be honest. Being
Yeah.
barefoot on the grass has some healing, but this is not talking about healing. I love your energy.
We're dovetailing here.
But I do want to share with you, even from the real estate community, it's always thrown around. Anybody got a tree guy? You got a tree guy? And I want to change the landscape of, or what your reaction is to, like, why choose your business? I can say why, because I just detect your energy. We've done business before. I think that you're extra when it comes to your performance of going above and beyond. I think you are rooted in the community, but
Thank you.
besides all those things,
Yeah.
like, what's the difference, or what's your take on why you do what you do, so that should I use Amy? Should I?
Yeah. So I have seen for me personally, connecting with the client, I will tell people up front, you will always find someone cheaper, always. What we do is our entire staff is certified arborists. And so I can train any 18-year-old how to climb a tree and cut. Instead,
Right.
What we do is we spend money, and educating them. So when we do go up into the tree, we know how to make the proper cut, why to make the proper cut. And so for the longevity of it, it's not just we're trying to make a quick dollar. And in several of the neighborhoods, like the Champions Run neighborhood, these higher end, like I will go and I'll say, you do not need to spend this money. Like tree companies will come in and convince them. I'm a big Dave Ramsey budget type of person too. And so I will literally kind of sometimes talk people out of it. And I think that honesty shows to people, because I'm like, you can spend the money. I can talk you into spending the money, but there's really no hazard here. You have this ginormous cottonwood out in the middle of nowhere, and it doesn't really need. Are there dead branches? Sure. But it's not impeding anything, and it's just going to help the forest and everything else. So it's not like I'm trying to convince them to spend the money. And that is vastly different that I've noticed. The other the other thing that I've noticed too, that I really do value, is spending time in the community. And the third thing would be, we're honest with people. So we have quoted jobs before. And we have said, let's just say it's a $5,000 job. And we've said it's going to be $5,000, and they agree to that. And we get it done faster. It's done efficiently. The client is happy and everything goes smoothly. We've gone in and said, hey, you know what? It went better than we expected. We're going to take money off. Rather than what I have seen happen, and not even just in our industry, we're talking businesses in general.
Yes.
Every company, they said, well, now we can go get another job done because it got done quicker and make our money even more. And instead, we're taking care of the client. And that to me is like what it's about. We're not here to price gouge. We're not here to get somebody on money. And we're not here to make dollar over or hand over money. Like, we're truly there to solve and be there for the community. And that, I'm a full believer in, like, karma and like truly giving back. And it has luckily shown to fruition. We've been very blessed. And I love that aspect of it, because people have noticed that and people can see that genuine.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why I'll say, so I think in your space of home services, or, you know what I mean, being a front facing to the end customer, taking care of people. And this is not cheap, by the way. I don't want to talk about just in general, like,
correct.
I think investing in your landscaping and having, the difference between having nice trees and not, people don't pay attention to it until it's too late.
Correct.
And I think you probably hit the nail on the head there, where your relationship is what I hear. Your connection to the client is way more important than your services. And like you said, you can train an 18-year-old. You know what? I think what's missing in this world, Amy, is client relationship. I'm not talking customer service, right? I'm not talking about yes and no, ma'am. I'm talking about connection. Can you tell me about a time in the community, like a feel-good story, where doing what you did made you connect with the client, and maybe Maybe it was pro bono. Maybe it was like a storm. Maybe it was, I want to know, I want people to know when they hear Amy Nikai, I want them to know you're more than just a female owned tree company that is extra, right?
Thanks.
Like, I love the word extra because this world is plain as hell, and people are
Yes.
just trying to get by with what they're trying to get by with. But
Yeah.
go ahead and share.
I could list so many just stories that are memorable and personable to me, but one of them truly was obviously the Elkhorn tornadoes. That's close to home. There, the day it happened, I actually had someone who lived on that street, who's a dear friend of mine, call me the day it hit, and I mean within minutes of it hitting, and she's like, all she could think about is, we have a tree on our house and I need your help. Like, that was her panic. And she said, my whole street is going to need your help. So we actually tried to get there that day. And obviously they were doing kind of a search and rescue, so they wouldn't allow us it. We spent 2 hours trying to get in from every avenue, and we weren't able to. Praise Jesus, there weren't any casualties, any injuries or anything. But the next day, the church there, like the whole community,
Relevant.
said,
Yeah, I was there. I saw you guys there.
Yeah, we need people with chainsaws. And what we did, what my team did, it was so cool, because it wasn't even like, hey, we like, obviously we'll pay you, we'll take care. But everybody was like, what do you need? When do you need it? We'll be there. It was just not even a question of, hey, can I get some extra overtime? Hey, can I be there? It was none of that. It was literally like, what do you need? And so we were there with chainsaws, because what needed to happen is all of the hazardous stuff needed to be taken care of before the community was just stacking stuff. So we marched in, the people with chainsaws, we marched in and helped people just clear their house, their driveways, all of that. And we actually spent that entire week donating our services and just helping. And every day it was like, hey, should we, like, they're kind of tailoring off. Do you think they need it? And we were like, you know what, we're just going to go. And we did see some companies that were out there, like the fly-by-night crews that are out there trying to make the money. And it was just like, there's a difference between storm work and there's a difference between just a need. And like, I think out of all of that, it was just the best feeling, where it was like my crew, it was just, without question, we were there. Not, hey, can I get some overtime? Not, hey, what can I do? It was just plain service. And that was amazing. Another service project that we've done that was just super close to home, that just was super amazing, is we worked with In Common and Lockwood, and we did on 40th and Charles. There were some huge hazardous trees. They bought an empty lot and we removed the hazardous trees. But from start to finish on that one, we built an actual playground for that community at Walnut Hill. And like, that stuff is just, because it wasn't even like, I asked my crew, hey, I know we do tree work, but we're building a playground today. Do you like, it was just so out of our wheelhouse, but it's still so much fun to be a part of that. So we took a day to do that. And it's not, hey, we could be making revenue. It was literally, I mean, obviously we could, but it was just about serving the community. Those are things that are just, there's key like moments like that we've done so many things that I just love their attitude and heart behind everything.
I mean, I think from afar, people can just listen to your energy. And I'm big into energy, right? I'm big into what people.
Oh, I'm big time in energy.
Yeah. And whatever it is that you're connected with, I think people want to be connected to that. So I want to make sure, that I'm getting the word out about your company. And I know that community has always been, you didn't even need to tell me that, right? Like, I think a lot of people know, and I know where your heart is. What are some of the things that people think about, like they should think about ahead of time before they need you? Like, if I'm a homeowner, which there's plenty of trees, you've been to my house before, right? Like, trees that are too
close to your house, for sure. That's something that people don't realize. And then getting it honestly pruned by a certified arborist. There are a lot of people who go out and prune trees, and they actually, because they go with the least expensive bid, which I get because I'm a big budget person, I would rather tell you, hey, this is your most important need. This is your least important need, and be upfront and honest, and rather get it done with a certified arborist than doing the cheapest version. Because if you go with a cheaper company, not all the time, but most of the time, they prune it improperly, and it actually causes longer or quicker issues, and the tree can die, or They just try to get a quick buck. And like a big one we see around the community is called lion's tailing, where they trim the tree super improperly and it basically looks like a lion's tail at the end of it. It actually is more detrimental to the branches, the tree health, all of that. And so I would rather be upfront and get it done properly. So that's a big one, is proper pruning techniques and trees that are too close to your house. Those are the two big ones that people generally don't pay attention to.
I think, Amy, in this space, most homeowners are afraid to even approach arborist companies because they've heard the stories, right? Just like every industry has it. But when you approach husband or wife, or husband and wife together, or whoever, however you approach, are they obligated? Like, I want to get estimates for certain things in my house, but I feel like I will buy from anybody just out on a second whim. How approachable are you? And do you estimate? Do you strategize with them? Do you have their vision and then just leave them be and let them come back? How's that work with you, your process?
I never sell on this. I generally don't sell on the spot because I don't want people to feel pressured. Generally, my personality shines with it. So they just end up saying, yeah, just get it scheduled. It just depends on the personality. I am a type A person. So some people like to get multiple estimates, but generally speaking, once I meet with people, they go with me anyway. So that being said,
I've dealt with many. I've dealt with many.
That being said, I don't mind them getting multiple estimates, but generally I talk them through on like, okay, like I said, I met with a lady today and she said, well, what about these trees way out here? Should they get pruned? And I said, I can talk you into it. You don't need to. They're not affecting your home. They're not affecting anything. They're not affecting your neighbor's home. They're way out in a field. You don't need it. So we will strategize on, here's your budget-wise, your number one priority. Here's your budget-wise number two priority. I'm big time on that, but that's more because I'm a Dave Ramsey budget person. And I also explain that to him is like, if money were no object, I would absolutely try risking it on this. Like as far as a treatment, sometimes trees are kind of like, hey, you're at a 50-50 if this treatment's going to work or not. If you want to try, if money were no object, I would absolutely try it. But if it doesn't, but if you're a budget person, don't spend your money. Don't waste your money. I would just enjoy the tree while it's living its life. And so I'll strategize like that with them. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does, because I think most people say, wow, she sounds cool. And there's people listening right now. Everyone has trees, like most everyone. But they don't take care of them. And by the time they get taken care of, there's some knuckle dragging, I mean, listen, I'm just saying in general, when people make hasty decisions and don't care about what they're choosing, it's too late. You're already going to be something. I think you should get a consult with Amy, if that's your business style, and just say, look, here's my eight trees. What should I do? I'm not trying to over token this or try to, like tell people, but I'm telling you, once I do my trees, which we did before, then our neighbors asking questions and neighbors, I'll say, please give Amy a try, or not a try, give her a time to meet or a call, because you're easy to talk to. And I think your service-led heart makes it easy for me to open my wall and say, okay, take my money. No, but I think it's important, because knowing that I'm segue into your community piece, it's important to me that the businesses that I support the community. And I'm not saying everyone has to write a check. It's talent and treasure too, just like you did during the tornadoes. Yeah, sure. However you did it, your time, I'm sure you spent some money, your treasure, and I'm sure your talent, and your people jumped right in. And I want to talk about community, and I want to talk about veterans, because this is what this is our crossroad.
Yeah.
So I saw the design, which I'm going to put up on the screen here, as well as the show notes. It said CSM Nikai, right? And I was like, wait a minute. And I didn't, because here's what went through my mind first. I was like, well, maybe I should be careful and ask, was it your dad, or, could have been you, right? So I want people to know this. Like, I thought, okay, this could be anyone. So I want to know the story of the person on that shirt.
My husband, we have been married 20 years this year.
Wow.
So, thank you. He is a fantastic leader, retired Command Sergeant Major for the Nebraska Army National Guard. Was an Army Ranger, and then moved here and they offered him a full-time position. So he worked full-time for the Nebraska National Guard. So it's a little different
Yes.
than the 1 week in a month soldiers
Yep.
that are still awesome warriors as well. So, but he worked
Yeah.
full-time for them. So he traveled around, I mean, did tons of different jobs throughout the Nebraska National Guard units. And so I could go on and on, just an incredible leader, an incredible role model for me. I mean, I would, if I could be half the leader that, a third of the leader that he is, it would just melt my soul because he's so good. And it's the biggest thing. I mean, I say it all the time. When he was deployed, hearing wives come to me and say, "You're Bruce Nikai's wife," like my husband raves about, like when he was deployed, even like that was just epic to me. Just, I loved it. It, unlike a lot of people that I've heard, it was very hard for me to have him retire. Most wives are like, "I'm done." It was gut wrenching for me to have him retire because he loved so much of what he did. I'm going to start to emotion. He was so good at it. And it was hard for me to have him. It was harder for me to have him retire because he was so passionate and so good about caring for others and setting people up for, I see this vision for you for 5 to 10 years from now. And I see this vision for you for 5 to 10 years from now. And just seeing, learning from him, all of that. It was, but also I know he wanted to be here and help with our kids too. And so he deserved that too. And so we came to an agreement. We prayed about it for him to retire and all of those things. And it just kind of fell in our lap, and what God provides amazing things. So it was wonderful for him to, he retired after 22 years. And so he's been retired now for 5 years. So, yeah.
Wow. So he's in a category of what I call fresh out. 5 years is still fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As when you turn my age 55, I got out in 1998. So that's a long time ago, right?
Okay.
A long time ago. My hair was black. Anyway, you know, sometimes our uniform is our identity. And it becomes part of us, you know, the things that we did with our family, the cycles, the process, the deployments, the, "Hey babe, I don't know when I'm coming back," or "I know when I'm coming back," or the living out of a book bag. And I imagine, did you guys raise children then too?
Not when he was deployed, but when he was in the military, yes.
Okay.
So when he was full-time for the Nebraska National Guard, yeah, it was basically half the year he was gone, just because of the way he did things. He would be like, yes, he was gone half the year, but it wasn't like deployments. It would be like, "I'm going to go scout a training unit. I'm going to go." So it was half the year for our entire marriage. He was gone basically half the year every year. So it's funny that you say that, because truly the harder part for me when he retired was I realized it was literally a God moment. My identity was in being a soldier's wife. And that was harder for me. And I was praying about it because I'm going to start getting emotional. I was praying about it because I was really like, "No, I want you to do what you want to do. You deserve to do what you want." And he said, "No, this has to be a joint. You have to be okay with it. You have to be on what you want. Like, what do you think I should do? What should we do?" And it was very hard for me because he was so good at it. But I was praying about it one day, and God told, "Amy, this being a soldier's wife isn't your identity." And like that broke me. Sorry. And so at that moment, it was like, "Okay, it is absolutely okay if you retire." And he's like, "Okay, I'm done." And I was like, "Wait, what? If you wanted to retire, it was okay. It's totally, you deserved it." And he said, "No, we had to make this decision together." So yeah, it was definitely my identity more.
I will tell you that I don't care who the soldier is in the family. It's the whole family that's in the military. But I want you to know the critical function of a soldier's wife or a soldier's husband, okay? You had to carry the emotional weight of what he may have brought back or may not have brought back, or the absence, right? Because when you're at home, I'm not saying you're in your domain and things are peachy keen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're at home playing air traffic controller for your life, right? And then here he comes, or not him in specific, but I want you to know my perspective.
Yes.
When I brought the energy back home, it wasn't always great energy. It was, you are under a microscope in the military. And it's not about like being picked on or being called out. It's you have a different standard of living. And notice I didn't say higher. I say you have a different standard of living in which certain more rules apply to you. And it is hard to navigate in those rules. But here's the hard part. And I'm going to ask, and you don't have to answer for him if you don't feel comfortable, but after the last day that he put on his uniform, you probably remember the last time you saw him physically in uniform in duty. What did you feel like, and what do you remember him maybe the next
It
day?
took me, so when we went down to sign paperwork, I think that's when it hit me because he wasn't wearing a uniform that day. But that's when it hit me. It took me 2 weeks because then once he retired, he still had, what is it? Like,
Terminal leave.
yes, thank you. So
Yeah.
he still had that. So it was still like I don't know, it hadn't hit me yet. And it took me a while to put into words this next journey for us. Cause again, he's young. He like a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, he's only 40 and he's starting a second career. But it hit me then when we were signing paperwork where it's okay. It was harder. Like I said, it was harder for me because he was so good at what he did, but he also was gone for the kids and he deserved to be home for the kids. And so it was this very, mixed emotions in a good way. I equate it to last night. I was joking about Clayton Kershaw just retired. And I was like, what do you think he's feeling having pitched the last game? And I'm like, I'm sure it was a bundle of emotions because his new kid, who his wife is pregnant, is never going to experience him as a baseball player. And that's kind of how I feel is like now the kids are younger. They really don't remember him in uniform because the majority of it was just not them. And which is what we wanted, is we wanted him to experience the kids being like in their sports and everything else. So it was this big mixed bundle of emotions of, I'm so excited to experience this next chapter, but also he was so good and so passionate about such a good leader. So that kind of thing. Both.
No, I love your perspective because I think you articulate it very well. I've spoken with a lot of military spouses or military families, spoken with mothers and fathers, spoken with brothers and sisters, but I never heard it like right now, Amy, where most spouses would be like, thank you, baby Jesus.
Yep. And that I definitely, it's so unique. I would say just not that I'm a unique person, but it was so different for me because I loved seeing him do his purpose. And that is really what, I've spoken to so many soldiers' wives about is seeing your spouse be in their purpose is so critical, and seeing them fulfill what God has chosen for them is so critical and so incredible to see and witness. So that was just like, I'm anxious for and excited for what God has in store. But man, I loved seeing you happy and doing what you were just so blessed to do. But I also love seeing him it's like, then he was home with the kids with their baseball games. And so it's just such a great blessing on both sides of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. To serve the country and have a great service record, and then to retire, and then, like you said, start a second career at age 40, I think is pretty incredible. And not many people get to, experience that. If your husband were sitting right next to you right now, what would you tell him about his years of service? For I can feel that you're a patriot. I know you are. But if you can tell your husband, what would you say to him?
Just his leadership. I think I just bragged about it and like loved it. Those key moments where it was people talking about him. I've not once ever heard anything it's always been high praise. It's never been like he chewed me out this one time or he whatever. It's always been he pushed me to be a better person and he set me up for success. And he always had my end goal, challenged me to say, here, I want to see you here in 5 years. I want to see you here in 10 years. And that was inspirational to me.
The percentage of people that become Rangers is very small. And then the percentage of people that hold the Command Sergeant Major E9, the highest enlisted rank, is even smaller. And to have a 22-year career, have a family intact, is a testament to, probably your faith, the way I can hear your adoration. You said leadership probably 25 times so far on this. But I will tell you, and this is just me and my faith, when I hear a spouse adore their spouse, even a wife I mean, those words. So you don't hear people talk about, well, my husband's a leader, right? Or my wife's a leader. Those words are not used. But I take it even in your house, and I'm just going to ask, does he lead the house from a biblical sense or like a faith sense? Does he?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to see so we have teens now. And so it is just fun to see him lead my son and lead my daughter. And it's so great to see his impact on their life. And I'm so grateful to have a spouse, to have a different perspective. And even though we're both type A's, we come from different leadership positions and leadership suggestions. And so it's really, I'm so grateful to have that.
I love your take on it because it's so fresh and it's so eye-opening. And I want people to know how hard it is to transition. The worst day in my career, 10 years, was the day that I took my uniform off. And my identity just for 10 years was wrapped into that battle dress uniform.
Yeah.
And having it creased and ironed and boots shiny, and like I loved saluting people. I loved the reach. I loved the flag. I mean, there's everything. I love shooting weapons. I loved formation. I loved, you know what I mean? I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
And then, one day I was just like, I love this, but something inside of me just said, like, there's another calling for me. Notice I didn't say bigger. There's just another calling.
Just a different. Yep.
It took me, Amy, 25 years to be really proud to be a veteran. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that crazy to say?
It's
Because
not.
when I got out, I was like, okay, there's parades for Saudi Arabia. Yay. All right. Oh, they're all right. I wasn't mocking. I was feeling like I didn't deserve. I was feeling ashamed. And my story of just.
I would say my husband has done. He's like, I didn't do it. So when I'm like, hey, get a military discount, I didn't do it for that. I don't need this. I don't like when they do stand up. If you did this, he's like, I don't need that. He feels very similar to what you experience. Is like, I didn't do it for this. My purpose was literally to help serve other people. It wasn't for the accolades. It wasn't for that. I don't want recognition. He's big time on that.
Yeah. And most good leaders are, to be honest with you. They eat last. They make sure everyone's, goes ahead of them. They take care of their, not only their soldiers, but their soldiers' families. They connect with people. The worst thing that happens is a high-ranking official like that looks past the spouse. And I'm sure your husband didn't do that. I can tell just from the stories you tell me of the adoration that even the spouse has had for your husband, because when they're gone, all you guys have is each other. And I want to say thank you to you, Amy, for doing your part, because, and this is a lesson for, or a shared experience for other spouses, right? It's easy to go deployed again. It's easy to go, but you're going to miss out on. It's easy to say, God, you just came back from England and you're going to leave now to Iraq. Like, man, it's not like they're like, how can I get away from Amy? Let me just sign up for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I will tell you, a soldier's love for their orders and doing the things that they're good at and just, they want to serve. But when it comes to opposing, and I think spouses in general, even outside the military, you should support your spouse or find something that you and your spouse can agree upon that you can say, at all costs, I will protect the household by doing this. Now, listen, there's people who, and I'm not chastising, they spend time doing other things there. I don't know what, I have not, right hand to God, I've never played fantasy football once. Now, I'm not saying that makes me good. I almost don't want to admit that, right? but I'm saying my time goes other places. And I don't know. I just think the structure of your household and the way you talk about it is very traditional. And I think we get away from that. Am I
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes. Yep. It's you have your own interests. I have my own interests. And so it's never like, hey, what can we do? Like purposely, intentionally setting time together. Like we were on a curling league. That's my claim to fame. Um, yep. Yep. So Bruce and I were,
okay. I've
yep.
always wanted to meet someone.
It is a lot of fun to me. So I have curling shoes and I have a curling broom. So
Stop
we
it. I love
intentionally
it.
picked something that we could do together that we both
Yeah.
were like, we've never done this. And it's something that like with his broken knees and everything, his jump knees out of it, all of it, that we could do together. Now we're big on like lifting together, but we were both,
Yeah.
we find those things that we could do together. So
That's a big deal, I think, because, as the kids grow and as, kids move out of the house, like we have Mason, who's 16 years old. He's the last kid in the house. We have 28, 26, 21, and Mason left at home, right? 3 girls and Mason. And, I think it is important, like my wife and I tried to intentionally date each other.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and then, we'll lead here to towards the ending, because I want people to connect with you. What was the last date you and your husband had for a good time, like to go out and have a good time?
we go out every other Wednesday on a date.
Okay.
Even if and even if it's just Javi's, which shout out to Javi's because they are incredible.
Javi's. I love
Javi.
Javi's. They're another community-oriented folks.
I absolutely love them. We go out to Javi's every other Wednesday it is Javi's because it's great street tacos. I would say it's not always Javi's, but it's like 99.9% of the time Javi's. So we serve our community youth group on Wednesday nights. We, like my husband and I do like kind of church security. And so while our kids are at youth group, we serve them. And then the following Wednesday, we set a date night and then we serve and then we have a date night. So we always do that every other week.
So having a pattern is important to you.
Yes, regardless of whatever. So like this week, it ended up being like Tuesday night yesterday. So we went on a date night. But regardless, we intentionally set that time. Otherwise, our lives get too crazy. So it's like he truly did say the other day, he said, when was the last time all 4 of us were in a car together? Because they have work and they have band and they have running and cross country and everything else. So we have now set intentional family time dates together so that we can all 4 be together while we're still here and not in college yet.
You have to intentionally set the time or the world will take your time for sure.
Yep.
And unfortunately,
and that includes scrolling your phone or playing games or any number of that.
Yeah. And one thing, that you and I share in common is we're both sober. I'm about 1,100 days. What was
I would have
it
to
for
add
you?
the days up. I just know it's January of 2023.
Okay. I'll calculate and you tell me why how it came about.
So I had heard this random thing about 75 hard from a friend, and everybody I talked to kind of was like, you don't have time. You're crazy. Your schedule's already insane as it is. And because unlike other female business owners who are doing like office work or bids or whatever, I'm actually out with the crew doing the work. So I'm like, how am I going to squeeze in 2 extra workouts a day? Like, this is insanity on top of tree work. And the reason I did it on top of the tree work, the reason I was thinking about doing it on top of the tree work was because it was going to require hard work and require sacrifice. And so I was thinking, okay, well, if I can do 75 hard, couple of reasons. One, the alcohol. Wasn't a super big drinker. However, I was definitely getting to a point with business owning where I was like, this was a stressful day. And then the next day was a stressful day. And then the next day was a stressful day. And so I just needed a drink at the end of the day because everything was hectic. And I got exactly. Unwind and like, yes, I deserve it. And I got to a point where I was like, I don't want my kids to see that this is the solution, that this is the need to help unwind, and that this is the only way to do it. There are plenty of other ways to do it. And so I was a nervous, but I started 75 hard. I actually ended up doing the entire Live Hard year for all of 2023, which was fantastic. I love it. And I basically just stuck with it. So I still read. I'm an avid reader. And if you don't read, you absolutely should. Even if it's just 5 pages a day or 10 pages a day, you absolutely should. So I don't necessarily get all 10 pages done every single day.
Some days you probably do more.
Right. Exactly. Some days I do more. Some days I do less. I don't necessarily get all 2 workouts in every single day, but I'm still actively working out every single day. I'm still getting outside and getting I still do count. So when I did 75 hard, I didn't count the tree work aspect of it during it.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be harder. Because I'm like, well, that's easy. I get that done already. And I'm like, no, this is supposed to be hard. So I didn't count any of the tree work towards it. Because a lot of people will fudge that and be like, well, I'm already working out. It's actively, tree work is hard, but I didn't count it. So anyway, so I did the Live Hard year. I still do hold to no alcohol. I don't think there's anything wrong with people that do it. I absolutely have nothing. The more research I do, the more I'm like, you're literally entering a poison into your body. And I'm not okay with it.
Yeah. And I'm with you.
So that, and then I still do basically follow the whole thing for the most part every single day anyway, and have held to that since 2023. So
that's 1,004 days, by the way.
Well, hot
January.
diggity.
That's freaking crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so it's crazy until it's not, Amy. It's crazy until it's not.
Right.
And for you, this is a new norm. And I have 200 bottles of bourbon downstairs in my house. Okay. And I still buy it and collect. I have not touched it. My wife still drinks every now and then, but I don't partake. And I'm not the one to chastise anyone either.
No.
I leave it up to them. I'm not the guy that oh, sorry, I don't drink.
Correct.
I just make it no, thank you.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
But
it doesn't control me. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
It doesn't control me. And
right.
having a cocky attitude about it of why would you put that poison in your body? That does nobody any good. I just personally don't. So.
Or when people are trying extreme diets, they're like, oh, well, I'm keto. I can't even look at that Snickers bar. I'm like, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
You're just say you're not hungry. No, thank you. You don't have to give a dissertation and a whole preaching on how this works. So, all right, let's lead into community, into your effort. And this is how I want people to remember our conversation. So from October
2021. Sorry, it's 2021. It's 22 days. October 21st.
October 21st.
Through November 11th. October 21st through November, through Veterans Day.
Okay, so you're gonna...
Portion of the proceeds of all of our work every single day is going to go towards 50 Mile March.
Wow. So I'm going to definitely want to push this out, as much as we can. There's many channels that we use. We have the private tribe channel where, the walkers are there. Are you in our little tribe group, the 50 Mile Tribe Facebook group? Okay. I'm going to put you in there. Okay. That's just where the back channel where most of us who have walked or volunteered, we all hang out there. You are?
No, but okay, sign me up.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And I never want to pressure anyone at all. But I'm saying to you, you would be, or your husband, or both, to connect to community. Yes. Right? I know you do a lot already. But for me, and this is me, and this is just me, I love volunteering. I do Habitat sometimes I do Crohn's and colitis. Couple, different fundraising nonprofits. But the reason I do this is for my mental health. Yeah. 50 miles is a doozy, right? Let's just, I'm just being really polite right now.
Yeah.
It's harder than a rucker. Okay. So all I'm saying is, but what I love about it is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right out there, crazy people show up at my doorstep, which I love them so much. And we walk 5 miles and we talk and the phones are down and we're like, yeah. And you own what? And what do you do? What did you think about this? I saw that the other night. And there are all walks of life. And guess what? People air their opinions and nobody punches anybody.
Mhm.
It's not even like, it's almost culturalized itself to learn from what's your religion, what's your belief, what's your, we don't get into politics. We're not like this and that, but for the most part, it's a community of like-minded people who are supporting veterans that want to get better themselves. I don't know, like, I would just challenge you to think about it. I don't want you
Yeah.
to, if we're on the podcast,
Yeah.
but I would love to have you guys out one morning because you're right
So,
down the street from me.
I know. And it's just because I get to work at the butt crack of dawn. That's the only problem is like,
I get it.
no, like I'm already at work when you guys are rucking. Like that's the,
Are you
oh yeah.
serious?
Oh yeah. Like both of us are at work by the time you guys are rucking. So it's like, we wouldn't have time. Like I am all for it. It's not because we get up at 4:15. Like I get up at 4:15 every day. So the time of day isn't a problem. Like when we would do runs at Hitchcock, I'm up at 3:30 to go run at Hitchcock. So the time isn't the problem. It's just we've worked
the time.
Yeah.
Yes, the priority.
Business owning.
No, but so how will people order? Tell me how this fundraiser will work. And yes.
Yep. So I would absolutely love for people to contact us if you have tree work.
Okay.
If you are any questions on like tree trimming, tree pruning, tree removal, tree planting, let me know, because what we can do is schedule it, because all of a portion of the proceeds on those 22 days are going towards 50-mile march.
I will tell you, just from my standpoint, whether you raise $1 or 1,000 or whatever you raise is not important to me. What's important to me is that you see us. And I love that you see us. I love that you and your husband's relationship of having a military family. It's easy to dilute our time and put it other places, but I just want to tell you how much this means. And it's not even about the money.
It's about the community.
Yes.
100%.
And when one says, Amy, who is that? And you're like, well, this is what they do. The story gets told to another person. And I just want to tell you this, Amy, from my standpoint, I can't speak for everybody, but it's healing to me when I hear people like you talk about us and that you choose us. There's 300 veteran nonprofits within a stone's throw of my chair, and they do good work.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know how much it means to me that if you could meet 1998 Jay and the Jay today, I mean, I'm just grateful. I would have never pictured having a conversation with a successful business owner like yourself who gives back to the community, who let alone has a military serving family and is just driven. Like, it's the chances of having a conversation like this, I don't take for granted. Okay. So I just want to tell you that.
Same.
And I want you to know that I want to champion your business. I want people to think about you, not just what you do, but why you do it, and the how and the approachability. And I don't know, what do you want to leave people with? What are some things in life that your mantras or your message
it's
to?
So funny you said that, because I was literally going to be like, you should think about this at the end of the day. So like, it's funny that you said that. I think people need to get more involved in their community. I think truly, it just changes you. We get so caught up. And I think to echo with you guys' meeting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we as humans aren't necessarily meant to know what the heck is going on in the big world around us every single day. My friends echo that to me when I get inundated with world stuff going on. We need our community, and this is what we really were designed for. We're not meant to know what's going on big picture, like huge, because it just overwhelms us and we get overwhelmed. And so meeting like that, and I champion that aspect of the community and I echo that. It's so critical to get involved in your community, but to show up to these meetings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to be a part of that niche community, that tight-knit community, because it's so impactful in your life when you get overwhelmed and stressed and everything else, when anybody does, not just you, like when anybody gets overwhelmed and stressed, having somebody that you can just vent to. And okay, are you needing me to Are you needing me to listen, or are you needing me to side with you, or are you need me to throw some punches? Like, what do you need for me right now? Do you just need a shoulder? That's fine. Having that community is so critical, and getting involved in the community so you can be there for somebody is so critical.
That
Super
is so
important.
profound. That is so profound. And here's why it's profound. You're right. If I turn on the news right now, I can get sucked in for 41 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, what is it that I wanted to do? If I worry about every bit of news, now listen, I care for the world,
For
but
sure.
for me to make a change
Correct.
right now, for me to be the most effective, it starts right here. It starts right outside my window.
Exactly.
For you,
Yep.
on your next tree. It starts with the next handshake. And I think we overlook that because we're like, rooted tree specialists, like, what? What's her deal? It's not what you do, it's the community you serve and how you do it. And I think I can hear you. There's people, Amy, that are going to work tomorrow that absolutely hate what they do, but they got to do it. They got to do it.
Yep.
My advice to anyone and you is to love what you do.
Correct.
Even if you don't. And here's why. Love the
100%.
process so you can get better at whatever it is that you're trying, like God is preparing you for.
I literally just had this conversation. My husband and I just had this conversation with our son, because you never know the mustard seed or the seed that you're planting in someone's life. And your smile that day could impact and leave a legacy in someone's life. So it doesn't matter if you like your job or if you don't like your job or anything else. You just never know the impact that you're leaving going forward to whomever it is. It could be a laughter, a joke that you said that day. Or the other day, my husband got at Lowe's. The lady told him, she's like, wow, you have the patience of a saint. And he said, me? Me? And she's like, I've just never, and that was impactful for him because he never, he clearly had patience that day that he didn't realize he had. And it left a legacy. And she said, you know what? When I go home or next time I get frustrated, I'm going to say, Bruce had patience. And I need to have patience like Bruce. And you never know those mustard seed or those little impacts that you can leave throughout the day.
It's the plainest, most simple acts where people go, oh, Jay, it's so cool. You started this thing and it's so impactful. Nobody was there on the first one, and it wasn't supposed to be a thing. It wasn't like, dear internet, I'm launching something pretty incredible in the next 5 years. I think that a lot of the things in life are just the mustard seed, just like you said. Not glamorous. No one cares. No one looks. But if you pay attention to that mustard seed, it's going to grow. And I think there's two things that I'm taking away from our conversation today. Number one is your perspective on the military family. Wow. Okay. And then two is how almost every time that I've even spoken to you or messaged you, you're always talking about, I'm involved in this and that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And seeing you guys and at the Relevant Center, I mean, it's a lesson to me to say, Jay, stop. Pay attention to what Amy's doing. Connect with her more. You've been in the peripheral vision, right? You've been there. And I don't know, I'm so recharged now that it's going to be hard to sleep. Because, it's the energy, right? This is not a draining conversation. This is not a draining conversation. This is a recharging conversation.
Good.
I just want to thank you and your husband. I want to thank your husband, Bruce, for his 22 years. Man, no one does anything for 22 years, especially the military, and I want to say to you that if there's anything that the 50 Mile March can ever do for you, your business, me personally, as a real estate agent or just a connector, I want people to know where your heart is. And I know it's rooted in the community, right? I don't know the tagline, so I don't want to mess it up.
Rooted in the community for the community, literally.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I'm grateful for your time, and I really appreciate you.
And I just want a quick shout out. So Merch Club designed these shirts. They are fantastic. Yes. So show the shirts, but Merch Club put them together. Chris and his team did a fantastic job. We are going to wear the shirts on Veterans Day. I'm really, really excited. And so each of these, it was cool because my team came back and they're like, we actually had to we all were, I told them, excuse me, I want a soldier's name on the back. Like, you got to pick somebody. And they actually they were like, we had to research people, like our family members. It took us time. And like, we really got a chance to like dive in and get to know people. That was really cool. Like seeing them get to know part of their family that they didn't know. So yeah.
And that's cool. Cause like I said, with every name on the back, there's going to be like, who is that?
Yeah.
Is that you? And that leads to conversation, and conversations are healing. Sometimes conversations are way better than medicine, but I'm so glad that we tied this all together. And I definitely want to follow up. I want to see how things go. I want to champion your business. And I thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to The Connection. It's been a fantastic journey exploring stories, insights, and inspirations that bridge our lives. Remember, every connection has the power to transform. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Your feedback keeps us going. In this connected world, let's make meaningful connections that enrich lives. Now, signing off until next time. The Connection. Keep connecting and let's go.